Good evening, I'm Ben, and welcome to the show where you and I gather around this campfire to hear some of our fellow campers' scariest experiences. Whether you're a new or returning one, I'm glad you're here. Tonight we'll hear a story submitted by a camper named Erin, who shares her experience moving into a new home, only to be met by some strange neighborhood children. Now, without further ado, do you want to hear a ghost story? I moved to Connecticut last year, looking for quiet. I'd lived in cities my whole life, New York, Boston, but after the divorce, I wanted silence, space, maybe even loneliness. I found a small house in the woods just outside Willington. Not exactly a fixer-upper, but definitely old. The kind of place where the floor creaks when you breathe too hard. The first time it happened, it was Friday night. I was watching some old rerun on TV, half asleep, when the doorbell rang. It was 11:47 p.m. I opened the door and no one was there. Just the cold, the fog, and my flickering porch light. I figured it was a fluke. Bad wiring. Maybe a squirrel jumped onto the railing, or something else. I shut the door and went to bed. The next night, the same thing. Again, no one was there. I stood there this time longer, trying to listen for childhood laughter, footsteps, but I heard nothing. I even walked to the edge of my porch, putting my ear out into my yard. I looked down the gravel driveway, but I was met with silence. That Sunday, the exact same damn thing. By Tuesday, I was starting to feel like the butt of some neighborhood joke. I installed one of those cheap motion cameras from the hardware store and aimed it directly at my front door. That night, I sat in the dark with the TV off and waited. At 11:46, I stood up. Right on cue, 11:47. I flung the door open, fast, but again, no one was there. I ran out into the yard barefoot, freezing, and pissed. That's when I finally heard something. I heard giggles, high and sharp, definitely children, echoing from somewhere in the trees. I turned towards the sound and saw a figure, maybe 30 feet away, half shadow behind a pine tree. Definitely a small child. I don't know why, but I ran after them. Though they didn't run, they just slipped behind another tree, like they were simply shadows. I followed them through the woods, each branch crunching under my steps. Every time I got closer, they'd appear just a little further away, standing like they wanted me to follow. When I finally reached a clearing, by the old stone wall that bordered my property, but they were gone. Just like the previous nights on my front porch, I now heard no footsteps, no laughter, just silence and an icy feeling that I wasn't alone in these woods. I stumbled back through the forest to my house, half convinced that maybe I'd imagined this, or that I was going to beat the shit out of some kids in my neighborhood. But here's the crazy thing. When I checked the camera footage, at exactly 11:47 when the doorbell rang, there stood a kid, small, pale, wearing this weird, old-fashioned coat, just standing there, not moving, not fidgeting like any normal kid would do. And the part that still gives me chills today, though the camera was very blatant, the kid never once looked at it, just stared straight ahead at the door. But when he turned to run away, just before the image stopped, he tilted his head, like he knew he was being watched, right at the camera. That is when I got a glimpse of his eyes. Black. No whites, no pupils, just deep, shiny black, like polished stones. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I emailed the footage to a friend of mine who works in video forensics. I asked him if it could be a glitch or some weird lighting. He responded with a single line. Where the hell do you live? That night I didn't wait for the doorbell. At 11:30, I turned off all the lights and sat in the hallway with a bat in my hand, facing the front door. And again at 11:47, just on time. I held my breath. I didn't move. This time I heard a voice. "Please let us stay." Small, polite. I stayed silent. And then I heard another voice. "We're cold. Please." I stood up slowly, peeked through the peephole. There was 2 of them out there now, a boy and a girl, dressed like they'd stepped out of the 1950s Sears catalog, both standing still, staring straight ahead, smiling. "Go away." And they both stopped smiling. The girl pressed her hand against the door. She wasn't knocking or anything, just pressing, like she was seeing if the door would just give way. Her mouth moved again. I watched it, but I didn't hear what she said. Though I don't know how. I knew what she said. "You've already seen us." I backed away, shutting myself in the bedroom, again staying up all night. The next morning, no footprints. And this time, no camera recording. It was as if they never came at all. I haven't quite been the same since. Every night that I'm awake at 11:47, I still hold my breath. Because now I know that these kids, well, they aren't playing pranks. In fact, I don't even think they're kids at all. They're something else. Thank you, Erin, for allowing me to share your story. I've gotten a lot of these black-eyed children stories over the last year, and none of them fail to scare me. Perhaps I'll begin to share more of them. I have no show announcements this week, but if you want to hear a shout at the end of an episode or get access to our monthly bonus episodes, head over to patreon.com/do you want to hear a ghost story. As always, I'm just glad to have you all as campers on this journey. Please keep sharing the show with anyone you think might like these stories, or someone you're just trying to scare. If you're enjoying them, go ahead and leave a review. I would love to hear from you. Until next time,